today we're going to learn the reported speech. The reported speech is when we tell what somebody said, okay? And so in order to understand this, we need to know that what is the direct speech. Direct speech is the dialogues. For example, dialogues we find in a conversation, a normal conversation, in a film, in a drama play, okay? And normally the direct speech appears between commas or apostrophes, okay? For example, I buy green products. The girl said. Normally, when in the direct speech or reported speech, we use the verb say, okay? In the past is said, okay? So, in order to turn this sentence, which now is in the direct speech, into reported speech, okay? In the reported speech, what we do is we start with who says the sentence. So in this case, the girl said. If we use the verb said, we don't need to follow this verb by anything. But if we use the verb, for example, tell, contar, is I told, the girl told me, it must be followed by a pronoun, okay? Me, us, you, okay? But if you use said, it can be used alone. So the girl said, and then we include that. The girl said that, and then the direct speech sentence. In this case, who is I? I is the girl. So when we turn the sentence into reported speech, we must change I by the girl is a girl is she, that's she, and then second change the verb here is in which is the verb tense in the direct sentence, present simple. So in the reported speech, normally we turn the verb into a tense in the past. So the girl said that she bought green products. So here we've seen three changes. Change number one. We include that before we introduce the sentence, after saying who said this sentence. The second change is that if the subject is I or we, in the plural, first person, singular or plural, then we will change to she or he if it's singular, they if it's plural. Okay? Third change, the verb. Verb must be in the past. So, if the sentence is in the present simple, so in the reported speech will be in the past simple, like in the example. If it's in the present continuous, in the past continuous. So if say I am buying green products, it will be she was buying green products, okay? If it's past simple, what is the past of the past? We saw it previously in other videos. Past perfect. So if it was I bought green products in the past, she had bought green products. If it's present perfect, the past of the present perfect is past perfect as well. I have bought green product. She had bought green product. And if it was in the past perfect, there is no other verb tense which is faster than past. So it would be I had bought, she had bought. Okay? And if it's in the future, will, for example, I will buy, in the reported C, we would use would. She would buy. And if we use can, could. And if we use must, in the past is had to. So at the moment, these are the verb tenses that we have seen. So if we find any direct sentence with these verb tenses, I would use the ones on the right into the reported speech. So these are the three main changes that we must use when we turn a direct speech into reported speech. But what happens if at the end of the sentence, for example, here I buy green products, instead of saying I buy green products, say I am buying green products now, and I include I am buying green products, and I include now. So when there is any word that expresses time or place, we need to change it in the reported speech. So in this case, now would be turned into then. So for example, instead of I'm buying green products now, the girl said that she was buying. In the past, present simple, past simple. Was buying green products then. So if there are time expressions, if there is a noun, we turn it into then. If there is today or tonight, we use that day or that night. If there is a tomorrow, in the future, we use the next day. The next day or, yes. If it's next week or next year, instead of next, we will use the following. And if it's yesterday, the previous day. And if it was last week, the previous week. So on workbook page 106, you have this chart with all the direct speech adverbs or words that are used to express time and place, and the words that you must use if you turn these sentences into reported speech. So have a look at this chart and study it because it's very useful. Okay. Here also in the same page you have which changes to do if the sentence is not a statement. It means a statement means if it's an affirmative or a negative sentence, but if it's a question or if it's an order, a request, an offer or a suggestion. Now, in order to finish this video, I'm going to explain the questions. And next week on Thursday, in the video conference, I will explain the orders and requests, offers and suggestions. So don't miss next video conference. So let's continue with the questions. So you know that in English there are two types of questions. One is the yes-no question. It means that the answer is yes, no, and they start with an auxiliary verb. So, for example, do you eat vegetables? So this is a yes-no question because the answer is yes, I do, or no, I don't, okay? She asked, instead of using the verb said here, as it's a question, we use the verb ask. Okay? So in order to turn this sentence into reported speech, I would say, she asked. And now instead of using that, as it's a yes-no question, we introduce if. If or whether. Whether and if mean the same. And then, this is the first change. We introduce if. Second change. In the statements, I told you that if the subject is I or we, so first person, singular or plural, in the reported speech, it would be third person, he, she, or if it's plural, they. But if the subject is you, second person, it means that it's talking to me. So, if in this case, I would turn it to I. It could be I or it could be we, because you know that you in the singular and in the plural is the same word. So I or we. She asked if I or if we, and now like in a statement, in an affirmative sentence. If this is in the present, it in the past. Ate vegetables. And no question mark, okay? Because now it's an affirmative sentence and a statement. She asked if I ate vegetables, or she asked if we ate vegetables. So then, if it's you, it could be I or we. And the same, and then the verb into the past. If the question is WH question, that means that it starts with what, when, where, how, who, okay. For example, what do you eat? She asked. In the reported speech, she asked, and instead of using if or whether, as we have the question word, that would be our link word. So, she asked what, we don't use the auxiliary verb, that means that it's in the present simple, she asked what I ate, okay, and there is no question mark because now it's an statement, okay? So that would happen if the question word was when, where, how, who, or any other question words, okay? So I finish here my video. So if you don't want to miss my explanation about the orders, requests, offers and suggestions, don't miss next week video conference. So it's Thursday at 12 p.m. Okay, so if you have any questions, send me an email or a message in Classroom. And now you can start working on the first page of the workbook. Okay, that is workbook page 73. With everything that I've explained, you can do the first page, and wait to do workbook page 74 after the video conference, because here it's where you will use all the requests, suggestions and offers. Okay, so see you next week. I hope you enjoy it. Bye bye.